Good morning. How you doing, guys? Happy Thursday. Kerry Pope here. Another morning with you as we talk about a deep conversation this morning. Let's make sure everything is coming well. I want you guys get this because there's gonna be some people that ain't gonna quite like the conversation, but you'll be all right. It's gonna bring some clarity to you this morning. Situationship versus relationship. Oh, good stuff. All right, guys, so if you will come on, share the broadcast. Let's have a good morning. Let's have a great conversation. So let's make sure all is running well, which it looks like it is. And so, how are you doing? How is your Thursday morning? We're going to talk about this subject because it's one that I think many people run from because they don't want to have to accept that there's a great possibility that they're in a situationship. All right? So, if you will, help me share this broadcast. Let's invite people in this morning. It's a great Thursday morning. Let's get as many people on as we can. All right. So I'm excited. I think it's going to really help a lot of people today. Situationship versus relationship. All right. And as a life and love coach, one of the things that we work on is helping people to come to a clarity and a definition of what relationship they may be in. And a lot of times, getting that clarity is not easy and it's not fun because it makes you have to really look at the situation for what it is. And when we have a situationship, a lot of times people want a relationship, but they end up with a situationship. And so we're going to talk about that this morning. We're going to create some boundaries around what that is, help you create healthy boundaries to protect your heart so that you don't find yourself in a situationship. So, Kerry, what exactly is a situationship? Well, thank you for asking. A situationship is the opposite of a relationship. It's almost like, if I can give it a clarity, it's not a friendship, it's not a relationship, it's a situationship. It is a relationship, or it is, as one author put it, and I'll read it to you real quickly. I think that it was a great information. It says a situationship is a romantic arrangement that exists before or without a defining of the relationship. In other words, if I could give it my terminology, I would say it would be friends with benefits. How about that? Friends with benefits is what it really boils down to. And so when you're in a situationship and you want a relationship, you got to ask the question, is it really he's busy or she's busy? Is it really that, they don't have time or their schedule doesn't permit? Or is it that I'm just a convenience for them? Wow. When you're just a convenience for someone, then what happens is you find yourself meeting their needs when it's convenient for them. Now, they want to hold you on by saying, hey, we got something going on. But the reality is it's not that. The reality is it's a situationship. So what are some of the some of the pros of a situationship? Here's a good one. It is an opportunity for self-growth. Individuals may be trying to explore dating and relationships generally and want to learn about how to interact romantically. So if you're dating and you're not looking to settle down, then situationship works great for you because you're having this romantic interaction without any commitment. Now, hey, there's nothing wrong with that if that's what you get down with, but make sure the person that you're entertaining is understanding of the boundaries or understanding of the rules, basically. This is where we are. We're in a situationship. And, I'm not looking to go any further. I'm just here to have fun. Okay, guess what? You're dating, you're exploring. You have that right. Because at the end of the day, guys, you have a right to choose what it is that you want. Okay, it doesn't have to be, if they're saying they want a relationship, but you want a situationship, let it be known. Listen, I'm not really wanting to commit. Be honest and upfront. And it won't hurt you for that. At least you've let them know where you are, what you're wanting. And if it doesn't work, it's okay. On to the next one. All right. Another pro is individuals have freedom to make decisions and to explore their passions separate from the other person. So, when you're in a relationship, you usually grow together. When you're in a situationship, you could do your thing, they could do their thing, and it really works for us. All right. Situationships allows for intimacy without commitment. So if you're into that, you just want to, play without staying, then guess what? Situationship is what you want. But when you get to a certain age, I mean, come on, let's be honest. Most people don't want a situationship. They want a relationship. And what happens if you confuse the relationship with a situationship is you get hurt. Now, let me say this to someone, and I don't know who needs to hear this, but when you're in a situationship, if the rules are starting to change in your heart, there's a conversation that needs to be had. You can't get mad at the individual if they don't change like you do or want more than what you want. Because if it's understood up front what the agreement is, that this is a situationship, that there's no commitment, you got an itch, I come and scratch it, then guess what? When you try to take it further and that individual doesn't want to, you can't get mad at them. They've let you know up front. You've known up front what the rules are. Now, what does that mean? If you know that you're not looking for that, don't even entertain it. Don't even kick it for fun. Don't even go and say, I always want to know what it was like and have sex or be with this individual. Stay away. Because when your heart gets invested, your soul goes with it. And when your soul goes with it, you go with it. All right. So stay away. So let's talk about the cons. What are some of the cons of a situationship? And then I'm going to give you some examples of what situationships are, just in case you may be in one, confusing it as a relationship. All right. Individuals in a situationship don't get consistent and stable support. Talked about it yesterday. OK, when you're in a situationship and you need that rock to lean on, that's not the person. That person is only here to have fun. That's it. They're not here to be your counselor, your therapist, your accountability partner. They're here to have fun, to knock the boots, to have somebody to go on a trip with. They're not here to be your soulmate or your purpose partner. All right. So don't get that confused. Next, what's another con? You're making yourself emotionally vulnerable. When you become emotionally invested, you become emotionally vulnerable. That's in any relationship. That's the difference between a relationship, a situationship, and a relationship. Situationships, your feelings don't get involved because you're here for fun. Relationships, your emotions are now able to become vulnerable when you commit. So you're making yourself emotionally vulnerable when you get into a situationship and you want more. When you want more than what the other partner is willing to give, and they made it clear in the beginning, or maybe they didn't make it clear, but all the signs are there, that you have to accept that this is not a relationship. This is a situationship. Another con, everything feels ambiguous. Situationships can be frustrating because they are ambiguously around what the norms are for the relationship. So in other words, you're trying to play daddy, you're trying to play mama, you're trying to play husband, trying to play wife without accepting the full role or title. You are going, you know what? We're going to play. We're going to play. Let's have play. Okay? Because when you start playing with grown folk stuff, you're assuming grown folks roles. So if you're going to sleep with someone and call yourself being their boo, they being your boo, and you kicking it, but you haven't had an establishment that this is a relationship, then it's just simply a situationship without it's just a situationship that you're trying to portray as a relationship. And somebody needs to look in the mirror this morning and say, you know what, Carrie, you're exactly right. I know what I'm signed up for. I know what's in front of me, but I want more, but I like what I have. Well, baby, you can't have your cake and eat it too. It's either you're going to buy the cow or you're going to stop getting the milk. Simple as that. If you want a relationship. All right. So let's look at something really quick. And I'm going to help you with this. It's going to help you. Let's look at some signs that determines whether you're in a situationship versus a relationship. Okay. Number one, as I said yesterday, there is no natural evolving. There's no evolution or growth. The relationship is just stagnated as what it started out with, just sex or just having somebody to kick it with. Now, most time in this day and age, nobody just going to kick it with you. Sex is usually involved. So when I come into town, I want to see you. Let's kick it. Let's hang out. Let's have sex. Let's have whatever it is may be. And then I'm out to my life as I know it. And you're here either back to your life as you know it, or you're stuck wanting more because now you develop feelings. Let me ask you this question. If the individual was to come to town and you were to go out to, say a restaurant and see them sitting there with another female or another male, Would you get upset? Like, would you get mad and furious and say, how dare he come to town and with another hussy or with another dude? Question is, why are you feeling some kind of way? You're feeling some kind of way because you forgot it's a situationship and you develop into a relationship in your mind. So to see them with someone else makes you upset. That's what leads us to number 2. There's someone else or multiple people involved. When you're in a situationship, that means I can talk to whoever I want to talk to, see whoever I want to see. You can do the same. But if you was to see someone out and about and you see them and they're not with you and you feel some kind of way, internally, it's no longer a situationship. You change that thing to a relationship. And so if there's multiple partners involved, guess what, boo? You're in a situationship. Here we go. Number 3, you only make short-term or last-minute plans. You're doing good today. You're chilling. Roll into town. Hey, what you up to? I'm in town. Now, when you're in a relationship, you make future plans. You make plans to hang out, to do things. When you're in a situationship, it's a spur of the moment. I'm in town. I want to do something tonight. Hey, let me call Samantha. That's who I kick it when I'm in California. Hey, let me call Johnny, because when I'm in Baltimore or when I'm in DC or when I'm over here in New York, this is who I kick it with. But what about when you're in your home in Nevada or you're in your home in Florida or Georgia? If that person is not part of your life, they are a situationship. You go to town, you call your boo, it's a situationship. You fly out of town. There's a lot of people that are in situationships wanting it to be relationships, and stop calling it a long distant relationship. No, baby, it's a situationship. It really is. Number 4, there is no consistency. There is no consistency at all. In other words, it's like this. One day is this, one day is that. One day you can't talk. You can't just, you can't wait to hear my voice. We're always talking. Oh my God, you love me, quote unquote. And then the next day I can't even get you on the phone. No return text message, no phone calls, no anything. Maybe they go ghost for a week or 2 or a month. And then all of a sudden out the blue, hey, what's up, baby? How you doing? We're just thinking about you. Hey, we'd love to see you. That's a situationship. Because when you're in a relationship with someone, you can't wait to see them and hear their voice and vice versa. They want to see you as much as you want to see them. Yeah. Number 5, they always have the same vague excuse. Oh man, I wish I had time. I'm busy. I can't ever get into town. Oh, my job's got me on the lockdown. There's always an excuse. When a situationship is involved, when it's a relationship, you make time for the person. In a situationship, you just understand, I'm busy. I wish I could do it. It's always a vague relationship. It's always a vague excuse to the situationship. But in your heart, you're getting mad because you're like, why can't we hang out? Because it's a situationship. Number 6. You mostly small or dirty talk. In other words, they always flirting with you, always hitting on you, always saying little innuendos. Man, I wish I could come into town and just knock you up real good and hang out with you. Oh, wish we could kick it. Man, listen, I saw you on social media the other day. That dress you had on was banging. Man, you're going to make me come to town. I'm going to make you come to town to what? See, that's a situationship. When someone see you on social media or see you out and about and all of a sudden you get this vague out of the blue text message. You know when a lot of other times you see people who are in situationships show up when you get a new man or woman? You looking happy. All of a sudden they want to come up out the woodwork saying, hey, I thought we had something going on. I've been missing you, girl. What's going on, man? Listen, hey, man, I saw you the other day. You look so good. Yeah, I look good because I'm in a relationship. I look good because I'm not in a situationship. I have somebody that wants me all the time, not just when it's convenient for them. I'm not in a situationship. I found a relationship. And most people that are in situationships come out of the woodworks when you get in a relationship and they want to all of a sudden act as though you didn't wait for them. I didn't wait for you. There was nothing to wait for. We were just fun and games. I got serious and settled down with someone who was ready to settle down in a relationship. Oh, man, this is good stuff. Number 7, you don't talk about the future because there is no future. The future doesn't exist when you're with this individual because it's a situationship. How do I look talking forever after with someone that I'm just wanting to kick it with? Right? And sometimes, some of you ladies, and men, let's say men as well, you're in this long-term relationship, quote unquote, with no commitment, because if you want to put a ring on and move to the next level and they don't, you're in a situationship. There's a situation that we have to work through, and I'm ready for the next level of life, and you are not. You are okay with just simply being in a situation. So some of you that are waiting on them to pop the question, they may never pop it because they're in a situationship and you thought it was a relationship. Number 7, they tell you that they don't want to get serious. Ooh. When again, clarity up front is an understanding. If you both come in and you want a situationship because it's convenient, that's what it is. But when it's time to get serious, you only have one conversation, if that. And say, hey, listen, I know we developed the rules and the guidelines of this, this situationship, in the beginning, but I'm ready for a relationship. Is that something you wanting to do? If they're not talking about getting serious, but you're ready to get serious, hasta la vista, baby. It's time to move on to someone who is ready to settle down. Because as my wife loves to say, it doesn't take all day to recognize sunshine. When you understand what you want and see it and it wants you, baby, go get it. Stop all this giving opportunity for the situationship to transform to a relationship when they've had all the years to do it. And let me say something to you as a man. When a man really wants that thing, he's going to do what he's got to do to settle down then. He's not going to drag it out. He's not going to keep playing, quote unquote, getting his money right. All this stuff that we hear these excuses. No, what he's simply saying is, I don't have time to take on any extra baggage. I like the way we have it. Don't make it either. Listen, because a good woman can help you get your money right. A good man can help you get your life right because you are now coming together as one and they can empower you and give you insight and enlightenment in how to go to the next level. But we want to get our money right. We want to make sure all these things are right. And when you work on, listen, you can't do 15 things at one time. It's scientific proof has shown that we don't multitask. It's either this or that. So what are you saying, Carrie? Should you have your money right when you go into a relationship? What is right? Because you can have your money right and not your heart right, and you can still be a hot mess. When you have your heart right and your money lines up, then guess what? The relationship will be solid. Number 9 is what I said. They don't want to show that they want to get serious. Number 10, you're frequently anxious. In other words, just because situationships are exception free, listen to this. Don't feel like bringing up soup when they're sick. No need. Doesn't mean they're stress free. In other words, when someone is in a situationship, they're not going to tend to you hand and foot as someone will in a relationship. Watch this. They give you a call. You got COVID. Oh, well, I'll say a prayer for you. All right. Well, I was in town. Just want to see if you want to hang out. Take care. Bye. See, situationships are not trying to take on responsibility. Ooh. Situationship is not trying to take on responsibility because they're not in a committed relationship. When you commit to something, you're committing to a relationship. You're taking on the responsibility. Let me say something to you why married couples are what's the word to use? A married couple is a magnet to people who do not want responsibility. Or people that want situationships. Why? Because if you're in a marriage, watch this. Let's say in Rebecca and I relationship, if some guy approaches her, yeah, she's beautiful. She's fine. She got all these great things going on. And in his eyes, she's glowing. But she's glowing because of the relationship with her husband. But the person who just want to kick it or want some of the benefits of the relationship is wanting a situationship because, number one, she's already somebody else's responsibility, me. And number 2, he's not trying to do nothing but kick it, maybe have a drink or two, have some sex and say, I hit it, on to the next one. So guess what happens? You in a committed relationship get jacked up with someone who's just wanting a situationship or scratch an itch. So what are you saying, Carrie? Before you go there, make sure that first of all, you understand what you're doing. And number 2, they're not going to want you. I've had sessions with many clients who were in a marriage or relationship and wasn't getting any attention, right? Was getting all this attention from this outside source because they felt like, well, this person over here understands me. This person gets me. This person sees my true worth. The one I'm with doesn't. Really? So watch this. The moment you break up with the one that you're with, that person that you thought saw all your worth and value don't want you. You know why? Because they only wanted a situationship. You wanted a relationship because the one you were in wasn't working. Now you have nothing because the person is not going to take on you as a responsibility because all they ever wanted to do was kick it for a moment to have sex and move on. Most of that, we say curiosity kills the cat. They wanted to see what the kitty cat was like, got the kitty cat and said, okay, I'm good. Mark it off the bucket list. On to the next one. And here you are now out in the pool of other men and women where the catchings are very few. And then somebody swoops up and gets what you had and says, your trash is now my treasure. What are you saying, Carrie? Before you go for somebody in a situationship, you might want to go get some therapy, get some counseling, get some coaching. Call me. Let's do a session. Let's clear up the problem so you can see the value of the treasure that you have versus looking at something that's imitation, hoping it can shine when you get it. And last but not least, you're getting bored. When a person's in a situationship, they start to get bored, so they go looking for somebody else to play with. In a relationship, you should always evolve together, grow together, love doing new things together. You could just sit and my wife and I play video games right beside each other and have a blast for hours. Meaning we play our little games on our iPads. You know why? Because we love each other. We're not bored. When a person's in a relationship and they're bored, guess what? They're going to start looking for a situationship. Or maybe the relationship in their mind has now become a situationship. I'm just locked down by paper or locked down by, I am in a relationship with you. We haven't broken up yet. So guys, if you find yourself in a situationship, you got some questions to answer. If any of those 11 things hit you, hey, you might want to reevaluate your relationship because it might just be, a situationship. All right, guys, I got to get up out of here. I'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care.